The love supreme, the love supreme. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Hello, welcome back to the Blossom Rise podcast. It's your girl Amber Toysella, and I'm here for episode seven. If you've been following along, today we're going to be discussing spirituality of sound and healing through frequency. Okay, I want to just take a moment and just listen to these vibrating, singing bowls, okay? And comment down below if you've ever had experience with singing bowls because okay, so let's take a moment. I'm about to play it and then we'll go from there, okay? So, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Okay. So how was that for you? If you've ever had experience with sound bowl, singing bowls, comment down below. Okay. So again, I wish I can play the excerpt of acknowledgement where a love supreme comes in, where he's chanting a love supreme, because it evokes emotion and reflection. All right. I can't do that now. But I don't know, like for me, when I think about sound, I think about obviously vibrational frequencies, but also music. Music is extremely healing. I know that when I was younger, I was heavily listening to Keisha Cole, right? Because she was the only person that was singing about the exact experiences that I was having, right? And then I evolved into Janae Aiko, and then I grew out of that space. But music for me has always been something that is a tool, and I use it for coping, I use it for healing. If I could listen to music 24/7 throughout the day, I definitely would. I definitely would. There's so much that is expressed through music. Um, and so I mean, obviously, because I am, discussing A Love Supreme by John Coltrane, through this, through this podcast, season one, because I think it's paramount to our healing and understanding our frequency and where we're at with things. So when we talk about frequency, okay, there's a few ways that we can talk about it. So frequency as far as sound, because this episode is about sound, right? There's X amount of hertz, and I should have researched this beforehand, but I like being in the moment. So I'm looking up spiritual frequency chart. Okay. All right. So I'm looking. Okay. So for those that are looking at this via um, Substack, YouTube, or Spotify, I'm looking on my phone and I'm looking at the 7 frequencies, okay? Um, and we can't hear all of them just because of the human ear can't pick up high frequencies. But animals can. So if you ever are listening to something like a whistle, like when you blow whistles for dogs, sometimes they react because they can hear it and we can't hear it. But um the frequencies also align with chakras, and it helps to remove blockages. I mean, it's amazing, right? Like those that work with frequency. Then also frequency in another aspect is raising your vibrational energy. So I'm also a medium, and so in order for me to work with spirit, I have to expand my energy out in order to meet them halfway or whatnot. I can't channel being in the energetic frequency state that I'm in currently. I have to expand it out, right? That's what makes it impactful, in lack of a better word. But it's exceptional in spiritual healing, all right? Like, for example, there's one I'm taking notes. So I have notes on my left side here, okay? So for example, like hertz's sound. Um 432 hertz is for healing, and then 528 hertz is specifically for DNA repair. So that is just small notes of mentioning like frequencies and how they work with us, okay? Um in space, like if you've ever listened to like how space sounds, it's amazing. Or like how planets sound, how black holes sound, how the galaxy it's amazing. And I'm always wondering, like, could we hear that with our human ear, right? With our human senses, could we pick that up, right? Easily, right? But it vibrates on the cellular level for us, which is how come it's healing. Like if you've ever been to a singing bowl ceremony, it's powerful. It is so powerful. And I would like to hook up with more of that, because it's healing. And I mean, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. Okay. And we can use it for, healing, emotional healing. Some use it for physical, psychological healing. Um, it's powerful, right? And not and also, like, there's singing bowls, like those large ones that I just showed. Tuning forks, they look like forks, tuning forks, and then or just simply listening to uplifting music, like I said earlier, like music that you resonate with, right? Um, it's beneficial. It's super beneficial. Chanting, it brings another frequency. Like in my last episode, I talked about the use of chanting, of or a love supreme, a love supreme, a love supreme, especially during times such as this, right? We do what we can to be in alignment with spirit. Okay. And spirit is always going to be higher vibrational energy. The spirit that I'm talking about. Of course, those dualities, those polarities, but I'm always here on Blossom and Rise across all my platforms. I'm always going to be talking of higher energy, higher frequency. Okay. Of God source, God consciousness. Just to be clear. Okay. So I'm curious, what type of music are you currently listening to now? I know my playlist, I'll listen to some lo-fi jazz music. I play a lot in the background of my YouTube videos. That resonates with me. I love R&B. I love hip hop. I love old school R&B, jazz. I love jazz. I love jazz. There's this rap album by Jay Worthy and Made in Tokyo. It's called, hold on. Hold on a second, because I was just listening to it, and there's a song called Interlude, and it's very jazzy. I would play it, but, like copyright stuff. Um, hold on. I was just listening to it. That's the beat of it. Okay. It is called, I'm afraid that if I click on it, it's gonna, oh, Time After Time. Okay. So Time After Time, I was gonna click on it, and then I would have to bleep it out because, copyright. But that whole album is constructed on jazzy tunes, and then they rap over it, which I think is genius. It's genius. But listening to it is just uplifting. Like I used to listen to a Master Deluxe. So Interlude is, it comes later in the album because Master Deluxe is the second song on the album, but Interlude is from that. So it's the bass, right? And I would listen to it while working out. Like that was like my workout song because it made me feel good, and it felt good, right? Talking about spirit. So I'm just bringing this in. Oftentimes, we'll hear songs that remind us of our loved ones in spirit, and I just wanna let you know that if that happens, to take that as a sign of your loved one being present with you in that specific moment. Especially if you were thinking of them and the song just came up on the radio, something that is like significantly linked to that individual, trust it. Okay. Spirit works through many different mediums. And they also utilize energy because energy cannot be destroyed or, what is it? Destroyed or created. Once it's created, don't don't come for me, okay? Um, but it can't die, is basically it just changes forms, right? So spirit can utilize power energy, batteries energy, people energy, draining energy in order to manifest moving things, apportation, or like getting your attention or whatnot. Like everything is ran by energy. Okay, so just like going back to the sound though, like if you do have that experience, feel it, like check in with yourself, see how that feels. All right, especially songs. Okay, so that's my little tidbit on mediumship as far as frequencies, energies, and healing and whatnot. I do feel like um season 1 of Blossom and Rise podcast is coming to an end, um, with incorporating a Love Supreme on, season 1, and I'm looking to do more exploratory? That's it, exploratory? I have a speech impediment, and so, it's sometimes I say words wrong or, I mince them up because my brain works faster than my mouth does at times, a lot. But yeah, so I'm looking to start season 2. I'm not quite sure what that's gonna look like yet. I'm thinking of incorporating more spiritualities, paranormal phenomena, mental health topics, perhaps do some interviews, bring other people onto the show. I'm really open, but you, as my audience, I would love to hear feedback to see where you would like to see the podcast grow. Because, constructive feedback is always great. I want to give a shout out to Brian. Brian is a friend of mine on Substack. We actually did a podcast episode together in like years ago, a few years ago. And he had gave me some feedback about my microphone use. So right now I'm actually using my microphone. Before I use my Sony camera to vlog for my vlogs. This right now I'm using my webcam and my microphone because I can utilize my microphone easily. And he said, people that don't know you may be already turned off just because of the audio that you have, right? And I said, I really appreciate that criticism, constructive feedback, constructive criticism. That's it. I said, thank you. So shout out to Brian if you're listening to this. Thank you. You're a real one. I really appreciate it. But yeah, like I could always take feedback. You are my audience. I do this for you. Um, and how we can come and grow together. Okay. So if you're interested, drop me a line, join the discussion, subscribe, share the podcast to those who you think may benefit from it. This is my first season, so I do anticipate on becoming better in all aspects because this is a new territory and we grow here. Okay, we're not embarrassed of the mistakes that we do here because we're human having a spirit having a human experience, but we're still human. We're not going to negate that here. All right. And so it's all love. So I appreciate any type of feedback. I love the engagement that I get from you guys. I really appreciate it. So shout out to all the blossoming souls that are subscribed and listening to this podcast, whether you're on YouTube, Substack, Spotify, Amazon Music, and or Audible. Thank you. You guys are the real ones. You're the real ones. Okay. Thank you. And I love you for that. And thank you. Thank you for supporting me thus far. And I'm not sure if this is going to be, hold on a second. Mm, I think I have a few. I have a few more to go before I switch it from A Love Supreme and start season 2. But I hope that you join me there. And I release new episodes every Wednesday. So I hope to see you next week. Until then, continue to blossom and rise and find a song that resonates for you. Be open to listening from music from your loved ones and intentionally be in higher vibration. All right. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.